Hello, this is Perry Mink, and it is about 6 o'clock in the evening on Thursday, September 10th, 2020. The update for today is I received an email from the case manager from the Veterans Affairs HUD-VASH program, which is for the subsidized housing here. And she asked about the gas not working. And so I told her what happened, which of course is so convoluted and just becomes more and more complicated and so, absurd and volatile. And she said that she would contact the owner. Today I also tried to activate my new phone, and I posted on Facebook that it says it's an error and that something about that it's already, being used. So the only thing I could think of is that when Metro PCS received the notification that the phone number was going to be transferred, they didn't release it or something. I don't know how it works. And what I decided to do today, because it's so dangerous here, it's just so dangerous. This case, Mink versus Encina Veterinary Clinic Incorporated et al., proves that the doctors, which are licensed, the government officials, such as judges, and so they are supposed to be current on, ethics and so forth. They're supposed to be legitimate government officials. Law enforcement officers who have guns and they're paid by taxpayers. They're using government vehicles. They're using their badges. They're using their security clearances. And then we talk about attorneys, even a private attorney, but they would also be working in the government, such as Attorney Gregory Mattson, who was one of the attorneys for Encina, and he was also on the pharmaceutical board. And then you have Attorney Jane Elliott, who was considered a private attorney at this stage because she retired from the county that she was working in the public defender's office. And she was also working in the county here through the criminal conflict panel. And so the reason that it's so important that I keep speaking out about this terrorist organization, this terrorist regime, is because the general population, the common person, somebody who would travel here from another country who thinks that it would be safe here, would not know that there is a very dangerous and diabolical scam, wicked scam, that is being perpetrated by this terrorist regime here in the San Francisco Bay Area that has to do with this underlying sex scam that you wouldn't know about, and that they are covering it up so that they can continue to perpetrate it. And this is coming from federal as well. So today I want to talk about tour scams in other countries. And I've posted on Facebook about these. And you would go to another country and there's a scam that they perpetrate on men where you would be at a location, or you would be in an area where these people scope them out, and then they would present themselves as decent business owners, and then they would encourage them to go to their restaurant or their bar or their club. But really what they were doing is setting up these men and then trapping them after they've drank alcohol or after they've had their meal and their drink, or and use terrorist type tactics to hold them there, hold them captive, threatening them in some way or form until they paid a much more larger amount, a much more larger dollar amount than what was presented when they were being spoken to before they went into their establishment. And so what is going on here is you are needing medical. Okay, so this is why it is so dangerous. You're needing some type of medical assistance, some type of medical service, some type of medical care. It could be at the dentist. It could be at a general practitioner. It could be at a, it could be, let's say you're coming here from the East Coast even, and your insurance company, your medical insurance, will cover medical care out here. Let's say that you're traveling from abroad and you need medical care here. What is happening is that as soon as you walk in the door of that medical practice, it's a trap. And unbeknownst to you, the person that you're speaking to is presenting themselves as a bona fide doctor. They have a current license, and they do have a current license. They are, they have plaques on the walls or some type of documentation on the wall that they graduated from a bona fide university or medical school. It shows that they have passed certain exams, perhaps, or that they're part of some other approval process, and that's also displayed. But unbeknownst to the client, the trap is that this medical service that you need, they're going to pretend, unbeknownst to you, they're going to pretend as if they can help you. So they're going to speak in a way that appears to be that they are legitimate, that they are actually providing medical services. Once you agree for the medical services, they are actually at that stage going to implement the very dangerous scam. So they're going to perhaps run tests that they don't need. They're going to perform something that you may not need, or they're going to lie about something that they already knew. They're going to write something that's not correct. They're going to change the record. You don't know any of it. You don't know what's going on. And so you are just patiently waiting. You trust the doctor, but you're afraid for yourself or your family member because it's some type of ailment or sickness or something, and so you're having anxiety over that medical condition that you're having. So you're very vulnerable. Unbeknownst to you again, once you have received the services, they're causing, intentionally and maliciously, causing some other, like, how shall I say, it's like a perpetual problem. And so you don't know it. You don't know at all. And then they're going to ask you to pay, and so you trust them, and then you pay. But little do you know that they already set you up in this very dangerous medical scam. Now, what I discovered goes past that, and they're using this very sexually deviant, behind your back, like a backroom dealing, where they would be working together with other either staff members or even other law enforcement officers that are in this terrorist regime, even other government officials that are in this terrorist regime, and they're going to continue with this scam, with this very dangerous medical scam. So when you finally have been completely traumatized, because what they're doing is their sadomasochistic desires are watching you suffer. They're watching you degrade. And so you're wondering what is happening. You're becoming helpless, more and more helpless. And so you're asking for more help. So their interpretation and explanation for that, to get away with the scam, is to say you wanted it. But you didn't cause it. You went there with the issue. You don't know what it is. You're dependent on the professional, the licensed professional, and you're dependent on them to heal you. And then you pay the bill, and then you go on your way. This is a much more sinister, very diabolical, very dangerous, and it just keeps, it's perpetual. It just keeps on going. Once you have sought, other assistance to help with what is this, what happened, what is going on, somebody please help me, they then continue with the threats. So in my case, they sent me to collections. But in the meantime, I kept following the guidelines here in my area, Contra Costa County in the San Francisco Bay Area, to have the entities, the government entities who are to make sure that we are safe, to follow through with the complaint, to either make it clear what happened and stop them, to shut the practice down while they investigated, to make sure that no other clients were being harmed, no other patients were being harmed. I didn't know, but I kept seeking justice because something happened. That's what justice is. You seek justice. It means that something happened, something was perpetrated against you, and so you contact the appropriate entities, and other people had to help me, kind of guide me who to contact, and then those entities are supposed to make sure that it's safe for us, for the consumer. So what I discovered through very difficult investigative work and research is that this is a sex scam that's through the medical services, where they're using the patient and the client to not only steal your property, money, your money is your property, through different types of trickery that you wouldn't know. You wouldn't know that it is trickery. And then after you complain, their friends and family that are in this terrorist regime ramp up behind your back, and they will terrorize you wherever you go without you knowing that the intention is so that you can't live. And they keep on perpetuating this. It's a continuous motion that ramps up more at this point, ramps up more at that point, ramps up more at that point, until they completely just destroy you. Either you're going to die, or in my case, they kidnapped me and held me captive. But during that process, they demolished my home, stole my property, my valuables, killed off my fuzzy family members, recruited other people, and then pretended like nothing happened. So after that happened, again, I discovered more evidence, and that was in August of 2016, and I asked the federal, again, to help me, and that was at the Veterans Affairs here in Martinez, California. Unbeknownst to me, again, it was this terrorist regime within the federal government that then ramped up this perpetual terrorism to somehow get rid of me, either again by putting me out in the street, making me homeless, pretending like they didn't know what happened, and then again they started damaging my property, make it so that the car doesn't work, make it so that I don't have medical again. No, I can't intimidate this person from buying food, steal the money from my bank account, interfere with my communications with people, because I needed help. In the meantime, they are lying to all these other people, all these different people that are trying to find out what's happening, what's going on, give us information. We have a right to know what this is. And again, they're lying again, and they're telling them some other information that doesn't match the evidence, but is convincing, that then they have no way else to either find out. They've either destroyed the documents, they've destroyed evidence, they've threatened other people that joined in to shut up, they've sealed records so that it wouldn't be public. These are people at the district attorney's office, these are other judges, these are people in law enforcement, these are people at boards, these are people in the political offices, such as the representative offices. And it's to get away with this very dangerous, very elaborately worked out, if you will, methods and operations that they have used on other people that have come here to this community, thinking that it's a very nice community, because when you drive around, it looks beautiful. There's very beautiful plants that are from the government, at the parks. It looks like it's well maintained. The buildings look well maintained. The lawns are cut. There's no graffiti. It looks like a very beautiful and safe place to live. And so the reason that I will keep telling the public what is going on here is because they are still covering up what this is. It's a very dangerous, very clandestine, very violent act. But they're using sex. They're using this very dirty, very licentious, very volatile, sexually degrading actions to be able to get away with it. Once they've trapped you and they've already harmed your body, now once you complain, they then start to deny you services because you won't stop seeking justice, because that's your right. And so let's say you prove it with evidence, and they ramp up this terrorist tactic in a way where you then cannot get services. So they're going to give you back your payment. They're going to say, we can't accept it. They're going to not be honest with you when you go to get services at another store. They're going to somehow recruit through threats, intimidations, some other method to get these other people in the community to go along with it who know nothing about it, but because you happen to be going there, they're going to then threaten you in some way, or tell you, force you, influence you, lie to you to also go along with what they're saying. So this is what is still going on. I'm now at the stage where supposedly the owner is going to know that the gas is not on, and so I don't have hot water and I don't have stovetop burners to work for cooking. And I posted online about my new phone, and so now I can't do anything with that. And so I didn't pay anything to Metro PCS, but I have already paid for this new phone. And it's a monthly service, and so you would pay on a monthly basis. So let's say the 30 days pass, and this isn't resolved. So then I'm not going to have even that phone number. And so this is something that they just keep on doing. It's a terrorist organization that keeps perpetuating this. And this is coming from the federal government. And U.S. Homeland Security is supposed to stop it right in its tracks. At this stage, over 14 years, nobody is supposed to be interfering with any of my transactions. Ahead of time, they are supposed to have stopped them. So if they were monitoring my banking account, they would see that I purchased this new phone and that the amount that I paid covers for the services. And then they were supposed to monitor that phone as I'm going to activate it, and so it would be able to activate. Instead, it's not activating. Same with this unit, this apartment. They know that PG&E, Pacific Gas and Electric, have done something with the wiring, with both the gas and the electric, and so they're the ones controlling it. And so they're using that as a way, as a terrorist tactic, to threaten me from seeking justice. But what I discovered is that this scam through the medical, through Encina Veterinary Clinic Incorporated et al., is a very dangerous and diabolical scam. It's a heinous veterinary medical Ponzi scheme where they're using trusting people who you would think are trusting, and they're basically racking up a huge vet bill and then threatening you if you say anything. Then they're using some kind of other terrorist tactic to force you to pay the bill. And if you discover that there was a fraud scheme, they're going to try to kill you. That's my report today. There's no homework assignment. The video that I spoke about from Pius XII, continue to watch that video and the other videos I posted, the last two videos. The homework assignment from the August 28th, 2020 video is still active, and I will continue to post cases that will help people understand what this is. Please just tell everybody that you know, because it is a very dangerous scam, and they are using that money for their own thrill, for their own benefit, for their own greed, for their own licentious behavior, for their own double life, And it's an honor killing. And so they don't want anybody to know why or how they're doing this, but I proved it. And it's in my patch articles, it's in my part articles. Some of them are in patch, some of them are on my website. And they continue to sabotage so that people can't like my videos, so people can't like my website, because they want to suppress me to the point that I don't exist, because they want to continue to perpetrate this very heinous medical Ponzi scheme. Alright, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Please keep spreading the word. Learn, prepare, be brave, inform others, outsmart them, and regain our rights. Alright, thank you for watching. Signing off for now.